Hey guys, this is Nico Macuris, and in this video, I'm going to talk about something that I normally don't talk about, which is my personal diet. I know that most people watch me and tune in for investment advice and crypto and real estate and things like that. But I was recently turned on to the carnivore diet. You've probably seen a lot about it online. People are talking about it, and I'm going on 3 months now. Strict carnivore. And what do I mean by strict carnivore? I mean that I have not eaten a carbohydrate, a vegetable, or a fruit in almost 90 days. Not one. And now I can't say it's zero carbs because I did put some heavy cream in my coffee a couple times, which does have about a carb, I think, in it. I do put a little butter in my coffee now. So I make coffee every morning. I love coffee. Now, coffee is technically plant-based, right? So true carnivores and lion diet people will say, oh, it's not real carnivore if you're drinking coffee. Well, I'm not gonna stop doing the things that I love. And also it doesn't affect me in a negative way. Coffee helps me. And I've been drinking coffee for 50 years. Now, one thing I do differently is I don't add sugar ever to anything anymore. And I don't use milk in my coffee anymore. I just have black coffee. And sometimes I'll take a little, teaspoon of butter and I'll put it in there, and I'll put a couple drops of something that is an electrolyte mixture of potassium and sodium. And it is a little salty. I'll put a couple drops in there. That is basically my electrolytes. And it does give the coffee a kind of like a salty, buttery flavor instead of sweet, which when you're on a carnivore, you actually crave that more because basically I'm living on, bacon, butter, beef, mainly ribeye steaks, and all ruminant animals. So some people, like if you're a vegetarian or you're really like into saving the animals, you might have a problem with thinking about the carnivore diet. But the reason why it works so well is because, in my belief now, from what I studied, it is the proper human diet. It causes the least inflammation in the body. There's an old myth out there that if you're eating a lot of meat, then you got all this undigested red meat just sitting there rotting in your bowels, and your cholesterol is going to go through the roof and you're going to die of a heart attack. But really, the truth is that it's the opposite of that. You can do your own research, and there might be some things that I say that you disagree with, but it has been proven now that cholesterol or high cholesterol, people who have heart attacks and strokes are generally people with lower cholesterol, not necessarily higher cholesterol. Saturated fat is not bad for you. It's actually good for you and good for the brain. And so there's a lot of truths that are coming out right now. You can Google, carnivore diet, and you're going to see tons of doctors and thoracic heart surgeons who are now carnivores talking about the carnivore diet and how people are thriving on it. Symptoms are going away. And for me, in 90 days, I've lost 40 pounds, and not of muscle, but of fat. Okay, that's significant. My energy level has gone through the roof. I go for a 40-minute walk and then in the morning, and then sometimes at night, I have so much energy, I want to go to the gym or go for another walk before it gets dark. And so I'm working out several times a week, where I didn't have the energy to do that before. I was so mentally drained from working all day that I just wanted to not do anything. And now I'm getting up out of bed. I have no aches, no pains, no stiffness, zero inflammation. I'm jumping out of bed. My gut bacteria, my gut flora, everything feels great. I feel lean and tight. Also, in addition to carnivore, I'm doing what's called intermittent fasting, where I'll do OMAD. OMAD stands for 1 meal a day. So I will, like today, so far I have not eaten at all today. And I'm going to have a ribeye steak for dinner sometime around 6 p.m. And then I will not have anything else until tomorrow at about 12 noon. And that's when I'll have meal number one tomorrow. And usually that might be some eggs or maybe a couple strips of bacon and 3 or 4 eggs. Or it could be leftover ribeye steak that I had today. And then 6 p.m. tomorrow, I'll have my second meal. I don't call it breakfast or dinner. I just call it meal one and meal two. And so I'm having 2 meals in a 6-hour period. So at 12 noon, I'll have one. 6 p.m., I'll have another one. And then I won't have anything until the next day at 12 noon. But once or twice a week, I will do OMAD, which is 1 meal a day, where I will skip that first meal at 12 noon, and I'll wait till 3 or 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and I'll just have one big meal. And in this case, it's about a 1.5 pound ribeye steak, and I'll eat the whole thing. And I'm eating like a pound and a half of meat or more every day, with eggs and butter in my coffee, high fat, high protein, and I'm losing body fat, and I'm feeling great. And not only that, guys, but my blood pressure at the beginning of this was 150 over 100, which is borderline hypertension. That's high blood pressure. If I got up to 160, 170, 80, they'd want to take me into the hospital, right? Possibly even pre-diabetic when I started this. And now my blood pressure on a regular basis, every morning when I check it, is about 118, 119 over 75, 80, which is not only normal, but optimal. my triglycerides went from like 300 down to under 100, and I think it was like 67 last time I checked. And so blood pressure down to normal. My blood work, everything is looking perfect. It's looking normal. I do have another follow-up with the doctor to get my blood work done again after 45 days. We want to check it again to make sure everything's on track. But I'm not concerned because I feel so good. I'm losing weight. And so I'm not necessarily recommending this for everybody, but you might want to look into it, because if you've tried everything else and you still have inflammation, you still have gut problems, you're gassy, maybe because you think fiber is good for you. Here's the weird thing, and this is kind of gross. Some of you might think this is a little too personal, but one thing you're going to learn when you get on the carnivore diet is you don't even go to the bathroom as much as you used to. The reason why is because 98% of the meat gets digested in the small intestines. It doesn't even make it to the colon, because meat is so nutrient dense that almost all of it gets used as energy. When you go to the bathroom, number two, everything that's coming out is waste. It's what your body cannot absorb. It's what your body cannot use for energy. That's why you get rid of it. That's waste. And you might think that that's healthy. Well, the reality is you're causing your intestine and your whole digestive tract to work way harder than it needs to have to process all that unusable matter, all that unusable, vegetable matter and fiber and all that stuff. And the truth of the matter is your body will work much better without having to work so hard. And so if you eat whole foods that don't require your body to work so hard, that are not loaded with fiber, you will feel much better. You won't have the bloat. You won't have any gas. And you're going to wonder where all the food is going that you're eating. You're losing weight. You're getting thinner. You're getting leaner and tighter, but there's nothing in there. Why is that? Because it's all getting used as energy. It's helping to keep you alive and support your muscles. And the fat is satiating you so that you're not hungry so often. And when you do cut out the carbs and the sugars, you just stop craving them. And the reason why I went 0 carbs and 0 sugars is because when I eat a little carbs, when I eat a little sugar, it makes me crave more. And then I overeat it. And before you know it, my blood sugars go back up, triglycerides go to the roof, blood pressure goes up, and I gain weight. And so if you're anything like me, give the carnivore diet a try. Check with your doctor first, but be careful when you check with your doctor, because most doctors are not educated in metabolic health. Most doctors are paid to prescribe medicine. If your blood pressure was like mine, they want to put me on a statin. If you're borderline diabetic, they want to put you on medication instead of telling you to change your diet. So doctors are not always right. Don't listen to them. Get some expert advice from people who are metabolic health experts. Go on YouTube, search carnivore diet, listen to the top doctors talking about it. It's pretty cool stuff. And once you get used to it, it's amazing. You feel great. Not for everybody. Doesn't mean you can't have vegetables or fruit every once in a while, but I'm telling you that if you cut that stuff out, you will get in the best shape of your life, I think. At least I have. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's kind of one that I don't normally talk about, but I figured I'd put it out there because people in my group are asking me how the diet's going. And it's actually going awesome. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you have any comments or questions about it and you want to learn more about it, go ahead and comment below. I'll give you the resources that I use to learn more about it. And I'll see you on the next video.